Hello, everyone. Welcome to a fantastic episode of Tea Time with Tia for Geek Vibes Nation. If you're new to this channel, Geek Vibes Podcast is the YouTube channel for Geek Vibes Nation, which you can find at geekvibesnation.com. We're a news media outlet that covers opinions, reviews for movies, trailers, and all that good stuff. We mostly talk about stuff in the comic book world, such as DC and Marvel, but we talk about other things as well. And our YouTube channel is full of podcasts and shows and all of that good stuff. And I guess Tea Time with Tia kind of falls into that category. So yay! I'm your host, Tia, and I wanted to briefly talk about this because I recently watched Helstrom, which came out on Hulu last week, and I really enjoyed it. Now, I've probably talked about it a little too much. I've done a written review, I've done an actual podcast review on it, but I just was thinking further into the whole thing. I do apologize right now if this thing is kind of like skipping. None of my computers seem to want to record these videos properly. I don't know what it is, but hopefully one day in the future I'll actually have the money to buy myself a decent camera so I don't have to worry about this. But let's continue. I watched Helstrom. You can find my review on geekvibesnation.com. It's a really good show, perfect for the horror spookiness of October. I certainly suggest it. This is not going to be a review. This is going to be a tea time where I talk about why I think Marvel should have continued its Adventure into Fear universe on Hulu. Most people are probably familiar with the cinematic universe on Netflix, which included Daredevil, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and The Punisher, and that was amazing. I was devastated when that was all canceled. I still kind of don't forgive Netflix for it, and I still don't necessarily understand why that universe was canceled, why Marvel decided to do that. It will be something that I'll never understand, considering how popular many of the shows were, especially Daredevil. It just never really clicked into my head as to why Marvel and Netflix thought that was a good idea. But following that, Hulu, which was under Marvel Television, then decided to make its own connected universe, which would also connect back to the movies, just like the Netflix Marvel universe did as well. But theirs on Hulu was going to be an Adventure into Fear universe, which was going to have Helstrom, Ghost Rider, several other characters that were meant to be scary and have more of a scary adult tone than, say, what was going to be on Disney Plus. And that was all well and good. We were excited for that because Marvel does have some characters that are certainly not child friendly, certainly not really, they don't fit in, I would say, too well with what you're going to get on, say, Disney Plus or the movie universe. But with that being said, then Ghost Rider was canceled. Marvel Television then folded and merged into actual Marvel Studios, where Kevin Feige has control of pretty much everything. And listen, I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm a big fan of the whole Avengers franchise, all the movies, love them. But it's like, and I'm really excited about what they're going to do on Disney Plus as well. But it's like, I like variety. That's what made the Netflix universe of Marvel so great, is that it was more adult. It was certainly darker than what you would get in the movies, and it's like, that's fine. And I think that you should also have that on Hulu. After watching Helstrom, I thought that it was just a really good universe that really could have been the start of something really cool. Marvel kind of made it very well known that they were pretty much straying away from Helstrom. They took their logo off of the title. In fact, you really wouldn't know that Helstrom was a Marvel property if it weren't for, in the opening credits, just seeing it saying produced by Marvel and ABC. And that's it. Now, I'm not sure what's going to happen with Helstrom going forward. I don't know if it's even going to get a second season, or if it was just too into production into the first season, and Marvel was saying, okay, well, we'll let you finish that, and that'll be that, and that's going to be like it. But it's certainly not going to develop into anything bigger. There's not going to be a Ghost Rider series. There's not going to be an additional series of any other character. So pretty much this is a standalone series, which sucks. It's like you could have really had an opportunity. And it's like, I get that Marvel is owned by Disney, which is a sorry guys, people just love messaging me apparently, and that's not supposed to be narcissistic. It's mostly junk emails as well. But what was I going to say? Yeah. So, oh my gosh. If you guys can hear all that, I apologize there. But, gosh, I got totally sidetracked and everything. My point being is that it's okay, Kevin Feige, to have variety. We can have our movie universe, which is amazing, and certainly I don't think that it's totally kiddish. Like, a lot of people who hate the Marvel Cinematic Universe love to say that it's for children. Watch Captain America fling someone into the blades of a helicopter, or Bucky Barnes killing Tony Stark's parents. There are plenty of scenes that are very gruesome, and maybe just in our postmodern age of living, we find that that's kiddish, but it's not. I'm sorry. So certainly the movies have their own adult tones to them, but for the most part are made with the idea that anyone in any age bracket can watch it. With the Netflix Marvel shows, you had more adult tones. There was some cursing. There was certainly some sexual tones going on. Certainly violence. And I would say that it was definitely darker, but nothing to like a rated R level. And even further so, Helstrom, even though it was rated MA, really didn't deserve that sort of rating. There was really no F-bombs were dropped. There was nothing like that. There really weren't any sexual scenes at all. It really didn't even go that deeply into, say, like demonic shit, which is what I would imagine is why they gave it the MA rating. I know that they one of the reasons why they dropped their symbol from the Helstrom title is because they didn't want kids who are into the movies see that Helstrom was a Marvel property and stumble upon that and be, I guess, corrupted by the fact that it had things to do with demons and hell and all that. So it's very clear that Marvel is keeping into more of a family-friendly direction, which it's like, I respect that. You want to make money, and you can't make money by, ostracizing a huge chunk of kids love that shit. More importantly, though, parents are going to be spending the money for their kids to be seeing that shit and to buy the toys and all that. You completely wipe out that sort of market when you make your stuff way too adult. And it could come to the point where, let's say, a parent is wise to the fact that their kid is Helstrom, sees that it's a Marvel property, and then thinks, oh, all Marvel properties are going to be like that, and then stops taking that kid to go see the movies. I know that sounds completely irrational, but let's be honest, we know that people are like that out there. So, but for me, it's like, for people in my age bracket who really love the movies but would love to see variety and see something like, no one's forcing anyone to watch these shows, and they're not, say, like the Marvel Netflix shows, even though you knew that they took place within the Marvel Cinematic Universe, nothing happened on those shows that affected what happened in the actual movieverse at all. So you did not need to see those shows to even grasp anything that was happening in the movie. So with parents, it's like, they didn't need to show their kids those shows. They could just have where they're watching the movies, but then have the adults be able to see things that are a little bit more adult and a little bit more mature themed. And it's like, you got rid of the Marvel universe on Netflix. Again, I will never be over it, so I'm always salty about it. You got rid of that. But you had the opportunity to still create something with the Hulu universe, because the thing with like Netflix and Marvel is that once Marvel said that they were going to come out with Disney Plus, it seemed like that was going to be direct competition for Netflix. Why would Netflix want to host Marvel content when the people behind Marvel, Disney, were creating a streaming platform that was going to be their competition? With Hulu is different because Disney actually acquired Hulu. So Hulu's one of their properties. So they had all the opportunity in the world to utilize Hulu. Okay, fine, take off your stuff from Netflix. You could use Hulu as the hub. And better yet, it's like now that it's been about 2 years since all of the Netflix properties have been canceled, now you can use those characters and put them in your Hulu darker universe. So not only could you have had Helstrom, Ghost Rider, now you could bring in your Netflix characters. You could have brought, like, Frank Castle would be great in that universe. You could have brought back your Frank Castle, could have brought back your Daredevil, and you would have made fans really happy. Listen, most people who have Netflix also have Hulu as well. Hulu is cheaper per month, so I will say that that's where Hulu gets their advantage. And it's like, you could have just easily done it. You should have kept your adventure into fear. It would have been so cool to have this like darker universe on Hulu for fans, that it's like they could also have that, because it's like, I'm excited again for the Disney Plus shows, but let's be honest, how dark is their Moon Knight show going to be? And I know they're coming out with Blade, but it's like, how dark is that going to be? It's like, we're lucky that we've gotten like spy espionage shit. Like, to me, movies that have strayed away from the typical formula are The Winter Soldier, and Black Widow upcoming looks like it's also straying away from the typical formula. But it's like, and again, that's no shade towards Marvel. I love the cinematic universe, and I think they've come up with really good content with fantastic actors. So it's like, I don't get the hate towards Marvel at all. I just think that it's edgelords trying to be edgy. But I would have loved if they would have kept up with the Hulu Adventure into Fear universe. It would be a universe that's really fun to play with. Now, they never explained why they canceled the Ghost Rider show, because the thing was that the Ghost Rider show, Gabriel Luna was supposed to reprise his role. He had played Ghost Rider in the 4th season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., another ABC production. And I do know some people who say that, oh, well, they're no experts. It's just all guesstimating. But what I mean by no experts is that, they don't know anyone in the industry who can confirm this. It's just guesstimation. But that the reason why the Ghost Rider series was canceled is because Marvel has plans on bringing them into their movie cinematic universe. How true that is, I don't know. Me personally, I don't really think that that's the case. I think it's a combination of things. First of all, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. had said that while their 4th season had like the best ratings and people really enjoyed Ghost Rider, that developing the Skull with the Flames ate up most of their budget. So that's why they kind of had to get rid of him. I feel like if you're going to have a show where that's going to be your primary like character and that's what he's known for, is the Skull with the Flames, that's going to be a big budget. I feel someone had said that Helstrom didn't have a very big budget. You can tell they got creative with a lot of things, a lot of moments where they like panned the camera away, and like that was fine. To me, it worked. But you can't do that with Ghost Rider. People want to see what Ghost Rider looks like. So to me, I think that Ghost Rider didn't get developed because it would have required way too big of a budget. And because Marvel at that point had already decided that they weren't going to keep up an Adventure into Fear universe, and Helstrom probably was just too far into production for that train to stop. They weren't going to lose money in that case. Also, you have to keep in mind that the Adventure into Fear, Marvel Television and all that was under the Jeff Loeb era. Jeff Loeb was let go. Now everything's under Kevin Feige, and you could see that, Kevin Feige probably wasn't privy to what Jeff Loeb was planning. And also Jeff Loeb, now, as we know, wasn't necessarily the best guy. And I think that Kevin Feige didn't want to keep anything from his era of the Marvel world. So And there's all these different things that kind of factor into it. I'm just saying that it shouldn't necessarily factor into it. Fans are what keep these franchises going. And a lot of your fans, though they may be children, are also adults as well. And adults want to see things that are a little more on the edgier side. And with the fact that these movies are going to go to theaters and we don't know when theaters are going to open up again, TV shows are the best things to develop. It's been a long time since we were supposed to get the first Marvel Disney Plus show. That's taken forever. I mean, understandably so with the circumstances of the world. But I'm just saying, and I'm going to keep repeating myself, so it's probably good if I just end this show already. But in my opinion, I think that they should have completely kept up with the Adventure into Fear universe. Give us another season of Helstrom. Give us actual Ghost Rider and bring the Punisher in, because everyone knows how big of a fan I am of the Punisher. And I just think that it would have been a really cool thing to see characters like the Punisher and Matt Murdock, characters who are, say, darker characters, interact with a darker sort of universe. So I would have loved that. I'd like to know your opinion as well. Did you watch Helstrom? What did you think about it? And additionally, do you think they should have kept up their Adventure into Fear universe on Hulu? And yeah, so make sure you give this video a like. Please subscribe. We have plenty of amazing content at geek5snation.com, as well as on this Geek Vibes podcast network. And I will come to you with another amazing tea time with Tia. And I hope everyone has a great day and happy Halloween. Bye. Sorry about the skipping in this video. I apologize, guys, but have a great one.